vegetarian. We started with the time of the Salah according to the madhab of Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah subhanahu wa ta'ala alayhi. So, I don't know how far we came, but it just starts just briefly going through the awqat again, the times of the waqt. First thing is, Fajr is, it consists of 2 rak'at, we know that. Its time starts from true dawn. In Arabic we call it Fajr, or Tulu'i Shams. Tulu'i Fajr, when Fajr is to break through. So that is the light of the sun breaks through the horizon, and instead of being pitch dark, we now see some white spots on the horizon. That is the time of Fajr starts. And Fajr ends at the time when, according to the notes, at the time just before sunrise. So that is the time when it's Fajr ends. So one must actually try not to make Fajr that late. Because sometimes people think that the barakah in the morning is like in the morning. Whereas the barakah of the morning is actually that whole Fajr one. That is why in the summer time, Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu anha used to, after Fajr, when the sun rises, she would go sleep. So sometimes what time is Fajr now? 4 to 5, nothing. So some people stand up 4 to 6. So they still make it in time for Fajr, but they've lost the majority of the waqt that is Mubarak, in the scope of barakah, they've lost it. So it's easy to stand up, make Fajr, and then sit with the Quran, make Iqra till the sun rises. That is Rasulullah Allah's place barakah in the period for the Ummah. So that is the time of Fajr. Now we come to Dhuhr. Dhuhr is 4 rak'ats, and the time starts from just after Zawal. Now what is Zawal? And how long is it? Sometimes people don't know how long Zawal is. Zawal is when the sun is at its highest point. So let us say it is 5 to 1 or 1 o'clock. So let us assume that tomorrow, exactly 1 o'clock, the sun is at its highest point at 1 o'clock. So from what time should you not make salah? Because there are 3 times that you shouldn't make salah. One is when the sun rises, right? One is during the time of Zawal, and the last one is the time towards sunset. When the color of the sun has turned yellow and it's on its way down. So the sun is not that powerful anymore, so one shouldn't make any sunnah salah during that period. So how long do we have for Zawal? So Zawal is 1 o'clock. How long does it take the sun to move away from that point? So sometimes the calendar just says Zawal is 1 o'clock and Dhuhr is maybe 3 minutes past. But sometimes people don't have an idea. So here's the sun, it's a circle. So we have a circle. So we just say this is a circle, it's not a perfect circle. So here's the highest point of the sun. So here's the highest point above Cape Town, and here the sun is moving. And the moment it touches the nearest part of the circle touches the highest point in the sky. So how long does it take for the sun to move so that the other part of the circle is now just moving past the highest point? Basically it takes about 4 minutes. 1 degree is actually good. Okay, so 4 minutes would be basically the duration of it. For 1 degree to move in the sky. However, so that means by 4 minutes past 1, the sun would be past the highest point. Then it will be lower. However, if you make salah 2 minutes to 1, 2 minutes to 1, not salah yet, and how long do you take to make your sunnah? So let us say you take 3 minutes to make your sunnah. The part of your salah is done in the time when you shouldn't make salah. So those are one is one of them. But you know you're not going to come in and you're going to make sunnah salah. And you take the time to make the sunnah salah. Let's say you take 3 minutes. So you make salah 5 to 1 is all okay. But if you start 2 minutes to 1, and the calendar says 1 is 1 o'clock, but you spending 3 minutes in the salah, which means while you are sitting in the tahiyya, you have now entered a period where you shouldn't actually be making salah. And the part of the salah is actually being done now during the forbidden time. So one of us is very careful when it comes to that. But we obviously speak about it maybe some other time. So zawal is, after zawal is when it is good. And when does the door stops? By Abu Hanifa, when the sun, when you take this object, you take the shadow of the object. By the Shafi madhab, when you have the shadow of the object, the same length as the object, then that is now the time of Asr. Okay? That's the time of Asr. By Abu Hanifa, rahmatullah alayhi, the object must be double the size of the shadow must be double the size of the object. And not forgetting, at Zawal time, in Cape Town, because we're not at the equator, the sun is still going to leave a shadow. So when it at its highest point, it's still going to leave a shadow and you put a stick in the ground. So you must not forget that small portion that never went away. You must take that small portion, plus the length of the stick, plus the length of the stick, then it is Asr by Imam Abu Hanifa. Imam Abu Hanifa, he didn't lay down the rules of the matter. The students, the name of the students is Abu Yusuf and Muhammad al-Shaybani. They are actually in agreement with the Shafi madhab that Asr is when the shadow of the object is the length of the object. So you find, not surprisingly, that in the madhab is always someone in the madhab that has the same view as another madhab. So there isn't such a lot of differences between the madhab. But just to let us know that two of his students, the people has to take the madhab of the mostly, they were in agreement with the Shafis that Asr should be at the time when it is the length of the shadow is the same length as the object. Plus obviously the whatever shadow was there at the time of Zawal. Obviously that's the time of Asr. And Maghrib. Maghrib is at sunset. Right? Sunset, now this too. Sunset in the general, in the English language, refers to the beginning of sunset. Okay, so you look at the newspapers and they say sunset is at, let us say, 7:45. That is actually when, just like this is the horizon, when the sun touches the horizon. That's the beginning of sunset. Right? By the astronomers, sunset is when the sun is just done under the horizon. And that is the time of Islam. So when you go to the newspapers and you see sunset is 9:45, you must add about 3 minutes in order to get the time of Maghrib. Because the sunset is given is the time when the sun is still in the sky, it's just touching the horizon, starting to go below the horizon. So when the sun is below the horizon, then it is Maghrib. Okay, so, and that is the definition of sunset by the astronomers. The sunset is when the sun has set. You can't see it, you can see the sun rays still in the sky. possible. So Maghrib starts at 9. And when does it disappear? When does Maghrib end? Maghrib ends when all the rays of, as the sun is not here, right? So as the sun disappears, the sun is actually emitting light rays. So that light rays is still falling on Cape Town. Now the earth is moving also. So all the time the earth is moving away from the sun. So this and this rays of the sun is falling on Cape Town. So when there's no more light rays falling on Cape Town, then that is the time when Maghrib is over. And that is the beginning of Isha. And again Abu Hanifa, Rahmatullah alayhi, he has a different opinion. Imam Abu Hanifa says, after the red glow, there's still some streaks of light in it. It's actually true. There is some streaks of light in it. But you can only pick up with astronomers can pick it up with telescopes. Because of refraction of light, still there is some rays falling, but very, very minute, very minute rays that are still falling on Cape Town, for example. So he says they must first wait on the white, that whiteness in this time is also disappear. So that is why the Shah by Abu Hanifa is slightly later. However, again, according to the mother of Abu Hanifa, his two students, Abu Yusuf and Muhammad al-Shaybani, they are of the same opinion as the Shafi'i. So it's actually important to know these things. If Ramadan is going to be summer, for example, and the Shah is 20 past 9, right? I imagine it's already late. People must go work the next day. Fajr is 5 to 4 in summer. So the Shah is 20 past 9. But if you follow the madhab of Abu Hanifa, then the Shah might be 25 to 10, another 15 minutes late. What time is going to come out of the masjid if you're still aiming to have a full khatam? So it's sometimes nice to know what is the other views within the madhab. So you can say, well, Abu Hanifa, that is not the only view in the madhab. His own student says, no, we can follow the Shafi'i. And that if the red glow disappears, it is the beginning of Isha. Okay, Isha is quite easy. When does Isha start? Obviously when the red glow disappears. Abu Hanifa, when the white glow disappears. When does it end? When does Isha end? You make Isha at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Yeah. When does it end?
The white glow disappears.
No, when Isha starts that time. Right? Yeah. When it's Fajr. When the first light, rays of light touches the horizon, it is Fajr, so that's the time of the Isha comes to it. So there are another Imam Abu, the Hanbali Madhab says no, you can't actually make Isha that way. They say that they are the opinion that Isha ends half of the night. So in Maghrib is 8 o'clock, Isha is 4 o'clock, half the night is exactly 12 o'clock. So they're saying, you can't come 1 o'clock in the morning home and then make Isha. So just to be safe, because there is a particular madhab that they are Hanbali madhab, that they mostly practice in Makkah, Yemen, places. They are of the opinion that Isha is only till Muntasaf al-Layl when half of the night is gone. So just to be safe, don't ever try to make Isha at 2 o'clock. No, 1 o'clock, it's the close of people. They're safe because it's 2 o'clock, it's Fajr is maybe 4 o'clock, so they're safe. But some of the madhabs, like I said, says no. 12 o'clock already Isha is not. Winter is not Fajr, but according to the Isha is. So, okay, let us stick to the madhab. The madhab of Abu Hanifa says, like in the Shafi'i madhab, it ends at Fajr time. So we are now done with page 46, 47. We are now on page 48. بإذن الله سبحانه وتعالى. Now they say the following. The witr salah consists of 3 rak'ahs and it is compulsory. The Arabic term for compulsory, I mentioned it. Wajib. Yeah. Not from wajib. Obviously the witr by Hanafi madhab is wajib, which means you must do it. If you don't do it, you're a sinner. But madhab of Imam Abu Shafi'i, it is only sunnah mu'akkad. But by the Abu Hanifa's madhab, if you leave out witr, you actually consider the sin. Even Imam Malik will not take you as a witness before the people say, no, that's when you don't make witr. So there is not a reliable witness. So you must love your deen, and Allah's witr, Allah is odd number, and Allah loves the people who do witr. The Prophet said, Awtiru ya ahl al-Quran. You perform the witr salah, all the people of Quran. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ وِتْرٌ يُحِبُّ الْوِتْرَ. Allah loves the uneven numbers. So we don't do witr for years. Imam Malik said, we will actually be a witness in that report. Imam Malik is quite strict on this. If the Imam goes into the mihrab and he realizes, my God, I didn't make witr last night, you can actually turn around and say, Ramis, lead the salah, I haven't been coming the one side and he can make his witr. So important is it in the madhab of Imam Malik and like I said, Abu Hanifa. So it's very important to try to make that salah every night. Okay, can we go on to the next point? Now we come to other rulings pertaining to the salah times. Okay? And the following is some of the things that we find in the madhab. Number one, in summer, it is desirable to delay dual salah. Why would that be? What is the reason? Why would summer, or what do you think of summer? Summer, the heat is, it could be 5 degrees, Saudi Arabia might be 48, 50 degrees. So when that happens, you wait till it's cooler. So Asr is almost 4 when it's almost summer. Zuhr is 1 o'clock, wait till almost 2. Make a done for the people. Almost 2 is not that long. Of people right in the middle when the sun is right at the top and it is scorching on. So it is good to actually delay, but both matters, to delay the dual salah. So the Imam agrees, and the community agrees, and you can actually say delay. It's extremely hot. The people are all fasting, make the dual an hour later, an hour and a half later. It's just to make it easier. But in winter, it is desirable to perform dual and why would that be? Early is towards the beginning part of the night, not towards the end part. Because of winter, you can't see in the sky when is the shadow of the object, the length of the object. So you're not going to know when is Asr. So it's best that you don't delay your dual. So imagine you're going to make dual when it's 4:30. We don't know about the time when people didn't have salah calendar. You have to check in the ground, the shadow. But it's not going to give you an accurate reading because it's cloudy. So in that case, make sure you make the dual early and not towards the latter part of the work where you might actually be out of the work. That's the reason. So if people have pain, they must actually make note. Okay, if the sky is cloudy in winter, sky is cloudy, it is desirable to delay the work. To become certain that the sun has moved again for that reason. So a lot of these things is not actually applicable to them. Because we have the salah calendar. That was written that time. But the one with the delay of the work is in the hadith because of the heat. So Prophet said, make du'a when it's cooler. That's a rahmah of the ummah. So you can actually, under agreement with the community, decide, okay, for the next 2 weeks, it's the heart of summer, all fasting in December, it doesn't make you not fast. So you can do that, that's based on the heart. By the others, we can actually say, look, this is not applicable nowadays because everybody knows the time. Even if it's cloud, we don't even go check in the sky anymore, we just look at the guy. And that is how we get our time to the sun. Again, the same thing with Asr. It is desirable to delay Asr as long as the sun don't change its color. Why must it delay Asr? Why delay Asr? Well, it's all got to do with certainty. Abu Hanifa said, you must wait till the sun is double the object. That's quite late in the day. So to be certain that you're actually doing it in that time, you would have been rather delay the Asr. Because according to him, you must make it almost 45 minutes later than, in some it can be even an hour later than the Shafi view. So the Shafi make maybe Asr 4 to 5, and then the Hanafi said Maghrib is 8 o'clock, we're going to make it 6 o'clock. It's an hour later. So in that case, what did you say now? Yeah, so the thing is, just to be sure, Abu Hanifa, you see, the shadow must be covered. So you're going to make it that you might be doing, in his opinion, doing it in that grey, you're making Asr, do it at the time when some other people are already making Asr. So that kind of. Okay, now let us look at Maghrib. It is desirable to perform Maghrib early. Yeah, that Maghrib is a short one. So it's best to be safe to make Maghrib early. Especially when you're fasting. Just spend 5 minutes at the bukkah table, and the moment Shaitan converts you to eat more, you just should eat that. You find that the salah is, you don't get the pleasure out of making salah. It's such a work that is, such a time, it's Ramadan. I make Maghrib all the time in the masjid. Not because I'm on duty as an imam, but I just feel that Ramadan is the best time of the year. So if I'm going to make Maghrib at home, it's almost like you're giving in to your desires. And yet the purpose of fasting is to control your desires. So especially if you're a person that makes Maghrib the whole year in the masjid. Not because you want to eat soup and all of that, now you make Maghrib at home. No, rather in the soup, in the container that can contain soup and drinking it in the masjid. But we love our soup. Because people make soup every night. Oh, that's great. But it's one of the best foods for energy. So it's good. But one shouldn't actually make salah at home now because otherwise it will be so yes, Maghrib must be done as early as possible. And on a cloudy night, they say delay Maghrib. Again, we don't want to make Maghrib before the time. But that doesn't apply. It's not that equal. It applies obviously to people that don't have these access to salah kind of things. They live in the rural areas. They still look at the sun. Sun is set already, now we know it's Maghrib. So for them, when it's a cloudy night, rather delay Maghrib. Okay. What about Isha? It is desirable to delay Isha till 1/3 of the night. The Prophet did that. But more than not to actually, in fact, he expressed a desire to make it even good. He expressed a desire to delay the Isha till 1/3 of the night is gone. Just before the 1/3 of the night is gone, that is the time we make Isha. However, if it wasn't for making it hard on the Ummah, he would have delayed the Isha even there. So 1/3 of the night. So what is the normal time? I don't know whether I mentioned this last week. The normal time, the week before was wrong. The normal time that the Prophet used to make Isha would be an hour and a half after do we know that it's mentioned that the Prophet used to make Isha at the time when the moon sets after the sun sets, the third night of the new month. It's actually very interesting. For somebody that follows astronomy, that you find that the first night when the moon is born, it sets approximately 8 minutes, 9 minutes after the sun. So very little time observing. Then the next night, it might sit 40 minutes later, half an hour later, second night. And the third night, it jumps up to an hour and a half later, then the moon sets. So that's the time that Rasulullah used to make this Isha. Yeah, but then obviously we can make it as soon as we need to disappear, we can make it. Okay. So let us continue. Can we continue? Let's get yourself far to keep the. I only take copies by the way. So I apologize if I don't have enough copies for some of the brothers. Okay, time in the Salah is not permissible. Oh no, we miss out on something. Performing two Salahs at the same time is not permissible, according to Abu Hanifa. Performing two Farad Salahs, Maghrib and Isha, Dhuhr and Asr, together in one lot. You make Dhuhr and Asr in the time of Dhuhr, or you make Dhuhr and Asr in the time of Asr. He says, this is not allowed in the madhab of Abu Hanifa, even if they have an excuse. So what's the excuse? It's rain. And the other excuse is you are traveling. So he didn't allow it. Alhamdulillah, the Quran says the person must be flexible. Know what is the other madhab do you want to hear.
That's why we have a lot of issues on music.
Yeah. Although Imam Abu Hanifa says only for Hajj performance, he does say only when you are on Hajj, it's compulsory to perform Dhuhr and Asr at Arafah wa Mina at the time of Dhuhr. So that is what the Sunnah is, to make Dhuhr and Asr together. So he doesn't even give permission for you to join the Salah when you are. Okay, but he says only for the Hujjaj when they are on Arafah, and to make Maghrib and Isha when they reach Muzdalifah. There they can make it together. But other than that, they shouldn't make the Salah. Yeah. Two rakah. Yeah, only when you. So he doesn't accept the concept of making Salah in the masjid when it's raining or. So that is the based on the hadith. You're not going to question, that is the view of the Madhab. So they say that we can't, but by the Shafi Madhab we can actually say to the people, it's raining hard outside, you're coming from a far distance, there's potholes in the street, it's going to be pitch dark because it's raining hard, you can't see the pothole. Let us make Maghrib and Isha. With that we go home, we don't have to come back to Isha. So that is allowed by our Madhab Shafi. But the Abu Hanifa you can't do. You can only make jump Salah on Arafah day during Dhuhr and Muzdalifah that night. When you go to Muzdalifah, make Maghrib and Isha, the moment you reach Muzdalifah. You need to jump, otherwise no. Okay, so let us look at some more things concerning the time of Salah. First one, Salah is not permissible. We're now looking at the times that it's not permissible to make Salah, according to the Hanafi Madhab. Also, later the Shafi Madhab, just to get clarity. So, it's not permissible 3 times is not permissible. Number 1, when the sun is at the highest point in the sky. That is called the istiwa point. So zawal is when the sun moves away, then you can stop at the sky. The zuhr is at the time of zawal. Zawal means the sun moves away from the highest point. People confuse the concept and say you call it Salah Zawal. Zawal is when the sun moves away. It's at the highest point that you not allow it. But it is not just a matter of you need to know what is the duration. The duration is at least 4 minutes. However, in my opinion, you need to actually wait maybe 6 minutes. Because if you're going to follow the stick method, putting the stick in the ground, and you're going to look at the star even and look at when does the sun move from the highest point with the naked eye. You're going to take longer than the astronomer. You can precisely say that based on the, you can look at coordinates, the sun has definitely moved. But with the naked eye, what do we need to see? That the sun has already moved slightly. So you have to wait a bit longer to really to be definitely sure the sun definitely moved. You can see the sun is slightly to the side. So for me, the Sharia is based on clarity. And clarity based on the naked eye, not on astronomy. So you use astronomy, but also astronomy, when will the naked eye be able to see that the sun has moved? And just to be safe, add another thing. Just to be safe, because that is the way that people used to do it. You take a stick, put it in the ground, and observe the shadow. And I bet it will take a bit longer than observing that the sun has moved, than working it out in the astronomical way. So that is why I think you might actually take a bit longer. Maybe 6 minutes to, and don't forget, even 6 minutes, don't forget that it takes 3 minutes to make salah. So don't make salah too close to that time. It means that part of your salah might be in the time that you're not supposed to make salah. So that's the first one. What's the second time that you're not allowed to make salah? The 3 times. It's forbidden. Haram. It will be sinful to make salah during those times. The interesting piece of Imam Malik told a man to stop making salah after Asr. There's been a lot of sunnahs. So Imam Malik that this man is doing, if he was just doing maybe 2 sunnahs, maybe sunnah after Dhuhr that they must, or maybe talking to Masjid, but he was doing a lot of sunnahs. So Imam Malik stopped him, he said, not allowed to make sunnahs after Asr. So the man said, will Allah punish me if I make salah after Allah will punish me in the salah. So Imam Malik said, Allah will not punish you for the salah that you perform, but Allah will punish you because you're going against the orders of Allah and the practice of Rasulullah to not make nafil salah after us. That is the reason why Allah will punish you, because you're going against the instruction of Allah and His Rasul, and that is why you will be punished. Interesting, but I mean, people think it's just an ibadah. No, Allah says, don't make salah that time, you don't. Yes.
I believe the salah after Asr. The salah is an ibadah. It comes to the other type of ibadah, like dhikr in Quran.
Like
dhikr in Quran.
Yes.
That is like as an opinion when right doing is off.
Yeah, because I mean, you're not deprived of making ibadah. You can still make dhikr, you can still
instead of doing the salah.
Yes. So I mean, Allah has given us the hajj to make salah, Allah has given us the whole morning to make salah to duha. So why do you insist you also want to allow after Asr make a lot of sunnahs? No, cut it out. Simple to Quran.
Even Tahiyatul Masjid in Maghrib.
Yeah, listen, we're going to do Tahiyatul Masjid now. Tahiyatul Masjid is one of the salahs that has a sabab. In other words, is linked to the time that you enter. So only when you enter, now you do the Tahiyatul Masjid. Abu Hanifa says no. After Asr, no salah. Even Tahiyatul Masjid. Imam Shafi is of the same opinion. However, a salah like Tahiyatul Masjid, he would allow. Because you all, the Rasul says, إِذَا دَخَلَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَسْجِدِ, somebody enters the masjid, فَلَا يَجْلِسْ, don't sit down, حَتَّى يُصَلِّيَ رَكَعَتَيْنِ, until you perform 2 rak'ahs. So they are saying no, it is a hadith, and that will be the exception to the rule. The other ulama says no. Rasulullah also knew about Tahiyatul Masjid. He also knew about the virtues, but he said no salah after Asr. No means no. So no salah. Whether it is Tahiyatul Masjid, leave it. After Asr, don't make any salahs. Even if it is something like Tahiyatul Masjid. When you think of it, I'm coming to the mosque 10 minutes before Maghrib. It's not sunset yet, but Abu Hanifa says, all salahs of this sunnah, we have to leave out. Okay. I think it's a valid opinion to make your salah when you come into the masjid. Or even not to go within time. Not Imam Nawawi, which is Shafi'i, he says some of our ulama of the opinion that is makruh to make salah at sunset. Because, like Tahiyatul Masjid. Not Tahiyatul Masjid, the other sunnahs. Somebody makes a sunnah actually. That is not makruh, it's haram. He agrees with the Hanafi Madhab. That you make nafal salah. It is not makruh. It is haram to make nafal salah during those 5 o'clock. One is during Zawal time. The second one is when the sun rises. So people used to make ibadah to the sun. And the third one is when you after Asr towards the sunset. That is when the sun changes color. Towards sunset, the last half an hour you shouldn't make salah at all. So Imam Nawawi says, although many of the scholars say makruh, we will know opinion is haram, except those salahs that has a sabbath. But the thing is, those salahs that has a sabbath, it's easy to avoid when it comes to sunset. It's just 2 minutes. Why do you insist to make Tahiyatul Masjid in the country? And it knows sunset already. You come in a minute before Maghrib. At the time when Rasulullah says, don't make salah. So don't make salah. It's better. Because that's a forbidden time. We were the majority of the scholars not to make salah during those 3 periods. And maybe when it's after Asr, then those 2 periods are not as strict as the first 3. So the one is sunrise, sunset, and zawal, and the other 2 is after Fajr or sunrise, and after Asr, after the yellowness of the sun, after Asr or sunset. So that is not that, because it's a longer period. So if I come into the masjid, and it is 15 minutes before I'll make Tahiyatul Masjid. But if I come in 2 minutes, that's the time when people worship the sun. Or rather, they sit down and refrain from making any sound. Because it's just 2 minutes, rather not making any sound. The out of the law, the majority of the ulama says it's haram. So it's only Imam Shafi that says Tahiyatul Masjid is the exception. So rather stick with the majority. What? Qadha Salah. Even Qadha Salah by Abu Hanifa, you shouldn't do. You shouldn't make Salah because it's forbidden times to make Salah. Even but Shafi Madhab you can. But you might die before Maghrib. So every alim has got his own opinion. And they've got valid reasons. They is looking at it from the fact that What if you die and you didn't do your salah, that was incumbent upon you? But Imam Abu Hanifa said, what is incumbent only in the time that is allowed for you to make salah. So since you are not allowed to make salah, you have to wait till Maghrib and then pray in the Asr that you missed off yesterday, or the du'a that you didn't do because you were at work. You have to do it after Maghrib because you missed it. And now you can't come and make salah during the forbidden time. So that is Imam Abu Hanifa's view. And we go on to say. So we said that salah other than two traditional salahs after the appearance of once it is Fajr, you can only make the 2 rak'ahs of Sunnah of Fajr. No other salah. Right. After performing the obligatory Fajr salah, so Imam Abu Hanifa says, after you make the Farah salah of Fajr, then you go on with the Sunnah. Once you have made the Farah salah of Fajr, then you are not allowed to make the Sunnah. You want to make the Sunnah, do it before you make the Fajr salah of Fajr. But because the Prophet says, لا صلاة بعد الفجر حتى تطلع الشمس. There's no salah after the Farah salah of Fajr until the sun rises. So to be safe, delay your Fajr salah and maybe you have to make Salatul Hajj. And we have better that very important. Make Salatul Hajj, ask Allah for your needs, or Salatul Istikhara, and then you make the Fajr. At the moment you make the Fajr, no salah after that, until the sun is risen.
Until Ishraq.
Yeah. Yes. So that's the one. Now what about the Sunnah? The Sunnah salah of Fajr must be done before Fajr. Now this is where the Hanafi and the Shafi'i have a big difference. Imam Shafi'i says if you come in, the Imam has started already. Fajr salah has started already. What must we do? Fajr salah started. What was the niyyah when you came from home? The man said, Hayya ala salah, come to make the Fajr salah of Fajr. That is what he was calling you to do. So when you come in, إِذَا أُقِيمَتِ الصَّلَاةِ, when you say Iqamah has been pronounced, فَلَا صَلَاةَ إِلَّا الْمَكْتُوبَةِ. There is no salah except the Fajr salah. That's the Shafi'i view. So you join the Imam. Imam Abu Hanifa said, wow, what about the Sunnah of Fajr? It's so important, very important Sunnah. Rasulullah never missed it, even on travel he never missed it. So he gave permission for his followers, or the people who follow that madhab, now you do your Sunnah. As long as you know you're not going to miss the salah, even if you miss the first rak'ah, continue with the Sunnah. The Imam is busy in the second rak'ah, with the Fatiha, continue with it. But now he's going to start with the surah anytime now, then he's going to go into ruku, and if you miss that ruku, you've missed it. And what's the sense of coming to the masjid? So he gives permission for you to do your sunnah until even the second rak'ah. As long as you get the Imam, even by the latest in the ruku, then you can start. So if you find in some mosque, you know, that Abidiyah mosque, I've seen it many times. Person comes in, because many of them are on the Hanafi madhab, that makes it sunnah. Even you can hear the Imam reciting maybe in winter, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil Idaja. So Idaja, I come into the masjid, I'm going to rush now. Very soon he's going to go into ruku. Now that person comes to stand in the front of the and make it sunnah. Because that is what the madhab is. So you make it sunnah. As long as you can get the salah, even in the second rak'ah is fine. Yeah, so that is how it is. After the obligatory salah of Asr, again, if you have sunnahs to make it before the Farah salah of Asr. At the moment you make the Farah salah of Asr, then no sunnahs happen based on the hadith. Haram to make sunnahs until, including the masjid, until the setting of the sun by the mother of Imam Abu Hanifa.
Should we go with the Sunnah of Fajr or Fajr?
can read still that time.
Maybe.
In fact, there is the Shafi mother, there's a hadith, and there is that the hadith says that the man missed the Fajr Salah. And then after the Fajr Salah, he stood in the masjid and he made his sunnah. So the Prophet asked him, what does it mean? What Salah is this? Because he's not supposed to make Salah after the Fajr. So he said, no, he missed the sunnahs. Now he's doing it now. And Prophet didn't stop it. So that is our mother said, if you missed it, do it after the Fajr. Because it's just a Salah that connects to the waqt. So even if you come home after Asr, and he didn't like Prophet, he came home and he made 2 rakats after Asr. Abdullah himself. His wife asked, what Salah is this? So the Prophet said, I was so busy with people, talking to them, explaining to them the deen, that I only had time now to do my sunnahs. But this is something that the importance of the sunnah attached to the sunnah. That he made the sunnah of Dhuhr after he came on the masjid of Salah. Came home and made that sunnah. By the Shafi the sunnahs that has a sabr, and the sunnahs that belong to the father, he can do it. The sunnah that has a sabr, like the masjid, there's a reason to listen to it. To come in half an hour before Maghrib to make complete the masjid. But by the Hanafi Madhab, no Salah at all. Can we go continue from our time? I would like to finish on this. That's the last point. Inshallah, so let us not let it hang in the air. Before each Salah, so before each Salah, you must make no sunnahs. So when you come in to the Eid Salah, well, you can make Tahiyat al-Masjid, because the Eid Salah is performing the Tahiyat al-Masjid. But Rasulullah made Eid Salah on a field. And when you make Eid Salah on a field, it's not a masjid, so you don't make any rakah. Just sit, make takbir, no sunnah salah, because Tahiyat al-Masjid is specific for a building where you make salah, not for a field. So no Eid, no sunnah before Eid. And no sunnahs after Eid. However, you can do sunnahs at home. But everybody is Islam, and now you're going to stand here for what? It's a day of celebration. Now you're going to be pious and make 2 rakats. Rather do it at home. Out of the love, everybody wants to greet you. So it's Islam to you. Now you're going to make salah to Duha. Do it at home. Greeting the Sundays, be part of the celebrations of the evening or you can do the Salah to people, some people are unreliable or piety. So even on Eid day they want to make Salah to Duha. So maybe they do it in the evening. They don't do it in the house. So what else? If there's little time to make the Father Son, also makruh to make a sunnah. You come home, you come from
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar,
you follow quickly before
Allahu Akbar.